Hi friends, welcome back to Parnika tutorials. In this video, I want to discuss about destructuring props and state in React. So I sincerely request everyone to watch the complete video for better understanding. Destructuring is an JavaScript ES6 feature that makes it possible to unpack values from arrays or properties from object into distinct variables. So using destructuring concept, we can unpack the values from array. What is an array? Array is a collection of homogeneous elements. From that array, if you want to unpack the values, or from an object, if you want to unpack the properties into distinct variables, we can do it. In React, destructuring props and state helps us to improve the code readability. Now let me discuss how can we destructure the props in functional components. There are two ways to destructure the props in a functional component. The first way is to destructure it in the functional parameter itself. So we can destructure the props in the functional parameter itself, and the second way is destructure it in the function body. One way is to destructure it in the function parameter, and another way is to destructure in the function body. First I will discuss how can we destructure the props in the function parameter. Later I will discuss how can we destructure it in the function body. Let me open the Visual Studio and then I will create a new file in the components. I will write the name as destructex.js, and then let me have one functional component here. I will write import react from react, and then I will write const destructure st is equal to props arrow operator, open the curly braces, and then I will write return, open the braces, and then I will write a div tag. Inside the div tag I will have one h1 tag. Inside the h1 tag I will write hello. Let me write first props dot name, hobby is props dot hobby, and then finally I will write export default destruct.ex. So what I have done, I have created one functional component called destruct.ex. In the app.js I will pass two properties, and these two properties I will display in the destruct.ex.js file. So what I will do, I will write import destruct ex from components destruct.ex.js from app div class name is equal to app, and then I will write destruct ex, and then I will pass the name as one property. I will provide the name as Jagadeesh, and then another property I will pass as hobby is equal to swimming. So I am passing two parameters, and the two parameters I am receiving in the functional component called destruct.ex, and there I am displaying the values. Let me save this one. Let me open the terminal and then new terminal, and then I will write cd example1, and then I will write npm start. Now you can see we got the output as hello Jagadeesh, hobby is swimming. I want to destructure the props. As I said earlier, we can destructure the props in functional component in two ways. One way is that we can destructure it in the function parameter itself. So let me go to the Visual Studio. In the destruct.ex.js, in the const destruct ex is equal to props are there, right? You need to remove that one. Instead of that one, you need to provide what are the properties you want to destructure. If you look at the props object consists of two props, one is the name and the hobby. I want to destructure both of them, so I need to pass name comma hobby. Okay, within the curly braces I need to provide name comma hobby. Let's consider that I have 10 properties. Out of that one, few of them I want to destructure. That also you can do. Here I have 2 props and the 2 props I am destructuring. Then here you can simply write name and hobby. Instead of props.name, props.hobby, you can simply provide name and hobby. Let me save it. And then for understanding, I will write here instead of swimming cricket. Let me save it and then go to the browser and then you can see the output. Hello Jagadeesh, hobby is cricket. This is the way you can destructure the props in the functional parameter itself. Now let me discuss how can we destructure them in the function body. So I will go to the destructex.js. In place of destructuring them in the functional parameters, I will destructure them in the function body. I will remove this entire one and I will write simply as props and then const, open the curly braces. What are the properties you want to destructure, that you need to provide, and then you need to write equal and then props. Now let me save it. Instead of passing Jagadeesh, this time I will pass Siri and then I will write hobby as sleeping. Let me save this one and then destructurex.js also let me save it and let me go to the browser and you can see we got the output as hello Siri, hobby is sleeping. In these 2 ways we can destructure the props in functional component. The first way is you can destructure in the function parameter itself. In the second way we can destructure them in the function body. Now let me discuss how can we destructure the props in the class component. Components, I will create the new file and then I will write dex.js. Let me go to the dex.js and let me create one class component. I'll write import react component from react and then I will write class dex extends component, open the curly braces and then in the class component you will have a render method and then open the curly braces. Let me provide the return, open the braces and then I will provide the h1 tag. In the h1 tag let me write welcome this dot props dot property name, I will write name, your hobby is and then again I will write this dot props dot hobby and then I will write export default dex and let me save this one. Go to the app.js and then let me write import dex from components dex and then let me write here dex and then I will pass the properties. Name is equal to, I will write Jagadeesh and hobby let me write it as playing cricket. Let me close the tag. Now let me save this one and dex.js and then you can observe it. We got the output as welcome Jagadeesh, your hobby is playing cricket. So we have passed a parameter from the app.js and that one we have displayed in the class component. Now I want to destructure the props in the class component. In class component, we generally tend to destructure the props or states in the render method. So if you observe, we have a render method. In the render method, I will destructure the props. So what are the properties I want to destructure? I want to destructure the name and the hobby is equal to, I need to write this dot props. Remember one important point, your props object contain the different props, but you can destructure only the ones you wish to use in your component. If you observe here, the props object contains two props. One is the name and hobby. Here I am destructuring both of them. Let's consider that you have 10 props in your props object. Out of that one you want to destructure only 5. That you can do it. So how you will write? Const prop 1 comma prop 2 comma prop 3 so on is equal to this dot prop you will write. And then in place of welcome this dot props dot name you will simply write name. That is the advantage. And another one you will write hobby only. Now let me save this one, and in the app.js in place of Jagadeesh I will write Parnika, and I will write the hobby as drawing. Let me save this one and go to the browser. You can see welcome Parnika, your hobby is drawing. Like this you can destructure the props in the class component. If you want to destructure the state also you can do it. In the dex.js in place of the props you can write here state 1 comma state 2. What are the states you want to destructure? Those states you can mention here, like state 1 comma state 2 comma state 3 so on you can provide. So like this you can destructure the props and states in the React. If you still have any doubts related to this concept, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.